As a mama, I really want the world to see what I see in my daughter. I really want the world to see what inclusion looks like. Ruby inspired me and my husband to start the nonprofit Ruby's Rainbow. And today, she's still inspiring us to turn our scrappy little organization into a movement to show the world what true inclusion can look like.
Pendidikan inklusif dalam konteks pendidikan khas adalah pendidikan yang diberikan kepada murid-murid dengan keperluan pendidikan khas yang belajar bersama-sama dengan murid-murid normal di dalam kelas yang sama dan diajar oleh guru biasa. Sejarah pendidikan khas di luar negara mula mendapat tempat di Amerika apabila Public Law 1975 diperkenalkan. Public Law menyatakan undang-undang mengenai hak kanak-kanak khas untuk menerima pendidikan dan sekiranya ibu bapa gagal dan ingkar, maka tindakan undang-undang boleh dikenakan ke atas mereka. Undang-undang ini menekankan 6 prinsip iaitu penyisihan sifar, penilaian tanpa diskriminasi, program pendidikan individu, persekitaran tidak terhad, proses hak dan pelibatan ibu bapa. Di Amerika Syarikat, penghibatan aktivisi awal diwajibkan ke atas kanak-kanak yang mengalami perkembangan lewat dan anak-kanak berisiko tinggi yang berumur 3 tahun ke bawah. Intervensi awal memainkan peranan penting dalam melengkapkan kanak-kanak berkeperluan khas dengan kemahiran khas sebelum mereka masuk ke sekolah rendah. Perkhidmatan ini dapat membantu perkembangan pelbagai kebolehan kanak-kanak. Intervensi awal yang intensif dan berkesan dapat mengurangkan beban penyediaan pendidikan khas pada peringkat sekolah rendah dan menengah. Sekarang kita akan lihat bagaimana pendidikan inklusif dijalankan di luar negara iaitu di Amerika Syarikat.
We do a variety of lesson plans. It's, kinesthetic learning, visual learning. We use a smart board for technology. This year we've even acted out certain things for math. Just something where I can touch on everybody's learning style. And once we kind of have the basics, we'll go from there. And then if I've got a child that's struggling, I can work one-on-one, or my aide Lorraine can work one-on-one with him or her. And then the ones that are excelling at it, I can move on to a more elaborate concept.
In a professional learning community, and when we focus on collaboration, we say all students belong to all teachers. Collaboration is king, because it means that my child, your child, gets the expertise of 3 or 4 or 5 teachers working together to be able to determine how they're going to ensure that that student is successful. By the student, by the skill. Those 6 words encapsulate for me specifically what it is that we do within a professional learning community. And I'm totally convinced that students do better in an inclusive setting than they would if they were segregated or separated into separate classes.
And I believe at Emily Lizert we've been doing inclusive education for years, and not because it's been a policy, but because it's a belief that we have about what's right for kids. We opened an academic support center. If a student needs an accommodation, such as a reader for an assessment, then the Academic Support Center will provide that type of accommodation. And that also includes things like the extra time they may need to use a computer.
We have students that are coded special needs, coded ELL. We have regular students that come into academic support. Students can come down spontaneously. Teachers can call and book students in.
I know that when they leave us, that they're going to be okay.
My name is Bobby Pate. I am from April Credit College at Indooroopilly. I like painting. I like to hang out with my friends.
Bobby brings an incredible amount of energy wherever he goes, always looking on the positive side of life. He loves to be involved in everything and connecting with people. Some people might be a bit confronted about how to include him, but When it is done, you know, the light up that he gets in his eye from, you know, achieving whatever it is, it's incredible.
I love going to school. I like English, religion, and hospitality.
The inclusion starts, you know, in the school, and, you know, that's where the changes, you know, for society will come from.
I think one of the great things about Bobby's inclusion at school is the relationships between his peers in terms of, you know, his social development, but also the educational benefits and the learning benefits for those around him.
What inclusion brings to a child's life with a disability is just incredible, but what it brings to everybody around them as well is also quite beautiful.
Berdasarkan video-video tadi, kami dapat simpulkan bahawa negara-negara luar, terutamanya Amerika Syarikat, tidak menidakkan hak kanak-kanak atau pelajar berkeperluan khas. Kanak-kanak berkeperluan khas mendapat hak mereka dalam pendidikan dengan baik sejak berumur 3 tahun lagi melalui perkhidmatan intervensi awal. Pendidikan inklusif di Amerika Syarikat dilihat memberikan banyak kebaikan. Antara kebaikan yang boleh didapati ialah pelajar-pelajar berkeperluan khas di sana dapat bergaul dengan baik dalam kalangan masyarakat tanpa berasa tersisih. Mereka dapat belajar, bermain dan menjalani aktiviti harian seperti kanak-kanak normal yang lain. Dari segi kemudahan, negara ini dilihat agak maju setanding negara-negara lain. Kemudahan untuk pelajar berkeperluan khas disediakan dengan baik seperti penyediaan mesin braille, alat bantu pendengaran, kerusi roda, susunan meja yang kondusif dan sebagainya. Kemudahan mesra OKU lain seperti tandas OKU, susur landai iaitu ramp dan susur tangan, railing juga banyak disediakan di sekolah-sekolah yang menawarkan pendidikan inklusif ini. Kesimpulannya, pendidikan inklusif ini mendatangkan pelbagai kebaikan terutamanya dari segi perkembangan anak-anak berkeperluan khas. Hal ini bersesuaian dengan hak sebagai manusia yang memerlukan pendidikan tanpa membezakan tahap kesihatan dan kebolehan masing-masing. Akhir kata, pendidikan berkualiti menjana kecemerlangan murid berkeperluan khas selaras dengan sistem pendidikan kebangsaan.
And that everybody has some value and role to play, I think is absolutely critical. And if it doesn't happen in a classroom, then I don't know where else it will happen. As we learn that practice, our beliefs will change over time. And we need to learn how to do that practice and craft of teaching in this context well. And when we do that, then we're able to actually have an impact with kids and change attitudes over time.